This is Kenisha Josling, studying at grade 7 at Presentation Girls CBSE School, Dharwad, and today I'm going to talk about Raymond Mascarenhas and his contribution towards the girls' education. The Foundation Day on 16 July, I'm sure, has made you walk down the memory lane towards the humble beginnings of Bethany in 1921, beckoning you to recapitulate the foundational vision of the servant of God, Father Raymond Mascarenhas, the founder of the Bethany Education Society. Many of you might have made gigantic efforts to make a founder appear on stage in various sizes, shapes, and costumes, fitting words into his mouth to utter immemorable words. What would be his message to the students of this generation? What you would expect of them in these confused times and conflict-ridden world? So, dear all, it's worth listening to this sagacious man who, with a penetrating vision, will take it beyond the century. He was a man of God for the people, a priest of prophetic words, a lover of nature, an apostle of the print media, and a compassionate pastor. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas always had the then socio and economic context of South Canada in his mind, so he worked hard to emancipate and develop the underprivileged, backward, and illiterate people. Even in the early ages, he had his preferential option for the poor and the marginalized. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas, being a man of empathy and compassion, initiated the process of establishing educational institutions in the vernacular, the remotest villages of Karnataka, in order to light the torch of education to the general masses, the marginalized, especially the women of the society. The Saxons could not be literate and stand on their own, and were looked down by the society. His heart always reached to the lowest sections of the society to make them self-confident. He started vocational training institutions. People were amazed when they saw that. He started cottage industries, especially weaving, especially for girls and women. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas spent all 60 years of his priesthood for the total liberation of the poor, the marginalized, especially in empowering the women of the society. Thus, he can be called one of the pioneers of the spiritual, social, religious, economic, education, and the renaissance and the progress of South Canada. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas, being a man of multifaceted and deep insight and prophetic, has brought great impression to spiritual, moral, religious realms. We can glance at it when we look at the contribution of the Bethany congregation to the society in actualizing the dream of Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas. Though he was rich in his ideas, characteristics, and conviction, he was a poor man of living and have ample of examples, such as the priestly ministry at Udyagar, Agra, and Bendur parish. A Jesuit father, a keen observer who knew Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas in different capacities and different circumstances, and he in his virtues. He says his diligent and constant of practices are virtues. His behavior is unaffected and natural, that he always appears to be happy and cheerful, no matter how difficult the task. Even in the best, in the times of difficulties and anxieties, the lack of funds and other problems, he always spoke with kindness. One day, one of the sisters met a girl who was found sad, disappointed, and helpless. She was denied admission in another congregation and was told only the sisters of the Little Flower of Bethany would accept candidates and give minimum education. The sister took the girl to the founder. He not only spoke with kindness, but also accorded a warm welcome to Bethany. His compassion to the economically backward woman was striking. He gave jobs like washing the clothes of the congregation community members, cleaning the surroundings, table working, milking, and working in the loom. He was first man to send the Bethany sisters to open schools in the villages, as he was the first pioneer in the option for the poor. Here is another incident of his time, and it says it was on the day of admission in Malas Girls High School, Sagar, in 1956. Girls were lined up for admission with their parents. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas saw a girl named Varmala, lame. She was leaning on a crutch and was walking towards the school office. Father told Sister Bertha, admit her, Varmala, first before anyone else. He had spoken to this particular girl and knew her by name. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas had to find some human resource to start this critical work of the newly founded congregation. He had to make arrangements for the finances to build the schools, convents, and orphanages. He had to undergo misapprehensions for being a man. He had opened a congregation for women. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas had a preferential love that made him open Kannada medium schools for girls and boys at the church premises at St. Sebastian and St. Margaret Mary. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas, being a man of God for the people, had a love corner for the poor. He had the youngsters get education and the young girls get married, sometimes from his own pocket. During his time, the world considered women as second-class citizens, and they were not the beneficiaries of education. They were loaded with worries such as social evils, such as lack of education and dowry. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas stood as an undaunted hero and improved this environment and changed this oppressive society into a religious, socio-economic environment. Monsignor Raymond Mascarenhas deserves a great appreciation for his vocation to humanity. Thank you.